being powerless, I get to have an experience of powerfulness. Yeah? And if someone who's admitted their powerlessness, they don't experience powerlessness anymore. They don't experience the frustration of people not doing what they want. They don't experience it's not going my way today. Yeah? They don't experience powerlessness when they admit it. They experience power. Yeah? Someone who's not admitting the powerlessness is experiencing powerlessness quite a lot. People are not doing what I want. They're not giving me what I want. They're not doing what I want. And if they would just do what I want, because I'd be happy, it would be like a trickle-down economics, they'd be happy. Why? Because it's me. If I'm happy, you're happy. So take one example and have some principles verified in your life in the observation of living here. Maybe this one thing is, you and I are giving everything all the meaning it has. It's an incredible statement. Yeah? You and I are giving everything all the meaning it has. That's the basis of a subjective experience. So everyone's in the same room. It's the same temperature for everybody, basically, yeah? The same amount of light, all like that. The gauges are picking up the same information as in the environment of this room, but we're all going to have different experiences here, yeah? Because it's all going to be subjectified. Yeah? The head's going to take it in and make it a unique experience by its predilections and its biases and its opinions, or about how much it's captivated by yesterday and tomorrow. It'll have a very, very empty experience. Not empty meaning totally full, but empty meaning boring and this isn't enough. I gotta make up for this freaking hour by doing a lot this afternoon. Yeah? You'll see it. If the mind is addicted to time, it's going to just rain all over this parade. You're going to be gauging this as a certain little place. I'm not accruing much value here, and therefore I need to accrue value to feel better at the end of the day about who? Me. Yeah? And so I got to really work hard to have fun, let's say. You can be working having fun. I mean, you have to have so much fun you won't get out of the water, you're cutting in on everybody, you're dropping in on people, surfing. You're trying to get as much fun as you can so that you can feel like, oh yes, I did well today. Yeah? I really mined the Saturday for everything that it was worth. You know? Don't you see that as a form of slavery? You know? That the biggest thing that's bothering you this Saturday has nothing to do with Saturday. It usually has to do with next Wednesday and last Friday. You don't see that? You don't see how occupied you are by what's not happening? It's mind-boggling. It's like the biggest heist of them all because you don't even know it's occurring because it's occurring now. Yeah? You, me, as this are bookended by the past and the future. The here that we believe we're in is inundated with past thoughts and past reflections and nostalgia and this and that, and future trepidations and concerns. Yeah? You can never have a Saturday in and of itself because a Saturday is preceded by a Friday and then a Saturday comes after, Sunday comes after it. That's how time works. Yeah. So if you're even enjoying peace now, you won't even be able to enjoy it much because you'll be worrying, will it be there tomorrow, Sunday? And most people, on Saturday, the biggest influence in their experience today is yesterday and tomorrow. That's just the way it is. It's like we're being whipped all day. Come on, move on, nothing to see here. This is just Saturday. Work towards a better Sunday. You know what I mean? And then a better Monday. And then when you get to the next Saturday, it'll be much better than this Saturday. And then here you are here. This is totally invalidated. A mythical there becomes the dominant influence. You get to the there, what is it? A here. And then it's invalidated, and then nothing mythical there, and then when you get there, it's a here. That's invalidated. You don't see it as a form of slavery? Jesus Christ. Why do you think you're getting loaded so much for? Getting high, it's unbearable. It's like living under a huge yoke. Of course, if you were a slave, and you saw alcohol and drugs on the side of the road, you'd grab them. You do to get some relief from the yoke. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, anything is better than this. Even I know all the trouble I've got into when I take this is better than this. You know the problem really from the solution, I'm telling you. To really be in Saturday, then you realize how preoccupied you were in the past, your mind was. Yeah? To really just have absolutely no trouble. There's no hurdle you have to jump to be here. You don't have to do a process how to be here better. You don't have to work on being here. Just entertain the possibility or the impossibility you could be anywhere else. Yeah? This is like a backdoor way. It's not about letting go. It's about there was never anyone holding on. That's the fastest way to let go. Because now you're not affirming the holding on. And every let go affirms the holding on. You get reflected as the biggest player all day. Yeah? Every time you let go, usually it's in like at the beach, on a cliff, you know what I mean? People see it. Oh, they're noticing I'm letting go here. It's being letting go of the burden of being Paul. It's ridiculous. Only to pick it back up again. Because they're all mirrors. You're getting your own freaking reflection. Oh, I am so special. I'm the only one who's holding on like I'm holding on. Tenaciously like a pit bull. Oh, I've let go. This is one of the biggest let goes I've ever had. Oh, I feel so good to let go. But to feel that again, what do I need to do? Hold on. Hold on, take it back. Oh, surrender is so beautiful. I surrender my life. I take it back, only so I can have the experience of surrendering again. If the root of the problem is identification as self, and its activity is obsession with self, might as well go there and question that. Instead of all of its freaking attributes, it's like study becoming a tree specialist, but you miss out on the forest. You know? You don't get what's going on. You get the particulars perfectly, but you don't put it together. You don't see it. You don't see the bigger picture. Yeah. Then you'll be in that position of letting go and holding on your whole life. Yeah. And who's going to tell you if you let go? And who's telling you that you're holding on? Where is that information coming from? Is there a place you can go to get, checked out? Oh, yes. 70% letting go, 30% holding on. Go into the room and to let go room and practice for a few hours. Come back and we'll check it again. Oh, you're up to 75% letting go, 25% holding on. Not bad. Come on back. Yeah. Who tells you you're letting go? Who tells you you're holding on? And who gives all the meaning to the holding on? Where's it coming from? Who's giving it the meaning? Where's the distribution point? Is life giving you the meaning? Oh, you're holding on. Life is a cat. There's a cat. Oh, my master's holding on. No playing with me today. No, cat sees you just the way every day. Dogs love you unconditionally. Who's withholding? Who's withholding? Who's putting requirements on? Well, I'll let go if it's this or if I get that. Yeah. The whole thing, the solution to all this is prior to the seeming problem, not after the problem, not within the problem, but prior to the problem. The best way of dealing with letting go and holding on is that there was no one ever holding on and there's no one ever going to let go. You're not that. And if the distribution center that's giving the meaning of holding on and letting go moves or gets shut down, you'll see holding on and letting go completely differently. And you may lose interest in the whole little game. Yeah. Just like to me, this idea of surrender and then taking it back, surrender. If you see it clearly, you'll be leveled in a state of surrender. Yeah? There'll be no more surrendering and taking it back. It'll be surrendered. It'll be a done deal. And then life can build a fucking big life on that foundation. But surrender, taking it back, surrender, taking it back, surrender. Who's the bigger God in that event? You. Yeah? If you surrender your life to a God and you can so easily take it back from that God, which is the bigger God in that equation? The one you surrendered to or the one that thought it surrendered just to be able to take it back? Which one? Which is the bigger God? Take one example. Which is the bigger God? You are.
For an answer?
What? Yeah. Yeah? You are. Okay. Now you got it. Quit playing God.
We didn't know we were supposed to do that.
Yeah. Let's have it. Let's be participatory today.
Are we doing that?
Okay,
Then
well, tell us.
Then it's quitting. Let's say that isn't that playing God? Who isn't that playing God?
You are the bigger one.
Yes, exactly. You are the bigger one. And so doesn't this fit into the statement in on page 60 something where it says, all right, first of all, you got to quit playing God. And then next in this drama of life, God will be the director, you'll be his child, whatever. Yeah. So that sense of being under the direction of that higher power can't really stabilize unless there's a quitting of playing God. Yeah. Because you'll be the one who'll tell you how it's going under that stabilized state. You'll be judging how God is doing in your life. You know, has he got me a date for the next week? My relationship should last longer than 6 months. I should get a parking lot space at every meeting I go to. I should be asked to share. Let's go, God. Let's go. Don't you see who I am? So, yeah, if there is a sense in one example that you're the bigger God, maybe that's playing God. Yeah? And it says why? And it says quit playing God. Why? Because it doesn't work. It's as simple as that. It's not noble or moral. It's just practical. It doesn't work. The only place you can truly influence is in your own freaking head. You can be totally flipped out sitting right next to me. It's not contagious. I don't start flipping out because you're flipping out. Because I'm not believing you're God up there. I have my own God telling me that's not the God I am. Yeah. Why? Because they're your thoughts. I listen to my thoughts quite a lot, but your thoughts I'm bored with very quickly. The same thoughts, but the whole meaning of the thought is based on the my or the your. Yeah? How many times has somebody flipped out next to you? How many times has it been truly contagious? You may get bored of it. You may, I'm so sick of hearing this. But basically, none of it infects you whatsoever. Yeah? Does it? Especially if they're talking about what's not happening. If they're going off on what's going to happen to me next week, you're bored pretty fast. Yeah? Why? Because you realize it's not happening. Yet the same thoughts can be in our head, held as mine, and I'm under that swoon. Yeah? Where is the meaning to that being given? It's being given from the mind. Yeah, let's have a participatory day. The mind. The mind of the thought is the biggest meaning of every thought. The mind of a feeling is the biggest meaning of every feeling. Yeah? The mind of a topic is the biggest meaning of the topic. Put money there and then put my in front of it. My money is huge compared to money. Huge, huge. Any topic you want to bring up, write it down there and then put my in front of it and then weigh it. It's always much, much healthier. Health, my health. Huge. Money, my money. Sex, my sex. Relationship, my relationships. Thoughts, my thoughts. Feelings, my feelings. Yeah? Seeing, seer. Hearing, hearer. Feeler, feeler. Yeah, feeling, feeler. Smelling, smeller. Always. It's good to see the diagnosis. See what's going on. And see if it's actually so. If it isn't, then you're not beholden to all of its imaginary effects. You can actually entertain being radically free of it instead of entertaining to be free as it. Yeah? Instead of spending tons of time trying to be free as that which cannot be free, you'll see maybe I'm not that, and you will entertain being free from it, and that's what's worked in my life. Being free from the idea of self, being free from the bondage of self, not being free as a self because it's impossible. If I want just one example, self is totally drenched in time. If you had freedom today, it'd be concerned, will I have freedom tomorrow? That's not freedom. The freedom is now being used as a topic to get concerned about. That's what it does. The selfie will take everything it comes in contact and use it for its own advantage. Peace, it will drive you crazy. Enlightenment in spiritual circles is driving more people crazy than anything else. Because they keep thinking they're not enlightened. And the term enlightened means cessation of all suffering. Yet, by entertaining the idea of being enlightened or not being enlightened, they're producing suffering. With the thing that's meant to be the cessation of all suffering, the selfing will use it to cause suffering. It blows my mind. It really does. I don't care if a 3,000-year-old vault, it will break in and take it. I don't care if it's backed by 5,000 years of scriptures, it'll fucking write itself into the story. I mean, it will take everything and take advantage of it. The program, look at the program of recovery. Very, very incredible program. Some people I know now, AA is part of the problem. They go in and out so many times, they never have a bottom anymore. As soon as it gets a little bad, they go in AA for 2 weeks, like a spa. They get all right, and then they go back out and use it again. They're actually using the solution as the problem. Part of the problem. It's already been morphed into the problem. And then when they've never done the steps, but they think they know AA because they've gone to meetings. Oh, I know that. I know AA. Have no idea what AA is, because AA is a program of recovery, not the fellowship. But they know I do AA meetings. I know what AA is about. No, they don't. Yeah? So that's done. AA is just dismissed. It's now part of the problem. Part of the lexicon of the problem. Yeah? And there are some people who have entertained it, and it's an incredible solution for it. To watch that happen is pretty mind-boggling. Because you think, there must be something that can't be touched or tainted. No, there isn't. Any something can be taken advantage of by the selfing. Any and every one of them. 5,000-year-old scriptures, monks, robes, vows, oaths, Himalayan caves. Yeah? They're all possibilities of something happening there. See it. If you see it, then maybe it's not you.
Is the bathroom open?
Yeah, it's open, bro. Yeah. If you see it, maybe I think it's open.
You'll find out.
If you see it, something may hit you. Maybe that you'll be drenched in the seeing of it, and you'll realize something that I'm not that. Yeah? I'm not that which that's inferring. I'm not that which that's implying. I'm not that that's being used to point to me. Just like this stupid little thing. It says, a water bottle. Yeah, change the meaning of it. My water bottle. Now it's pointing to the proprietor, who's not there, there's no one there, but it's now being used to point to the owner of the bottle. Yeah? Just one little word. My bottle. My car. Yeah? My wife. My time. It's relentless. Everything that comes out, my scriptures. Buddhism, I'm a Buddhist. The Kabbalah, my Kabbalah. Meditation, I'm a meditative. It goes on and on and on and on and on, relentlessly. Yeah. Because it has to reinforce the impossibility that seems to be so to us. The only way an impossibility can fly is that something has to be making it possible all day. Seemingly. It can't make it possible, but it can seemingly make it possible. Remember, seemingly is never going to reach a culmination where it is. It can't. It's limited by its emptiness. Yeah? It can seemingly be so, but it cannot be so. That's an absolute. No matter how real it seems only to be real. Yeah? No matter how real it seems, it can only seem to be real. That you can rest your head on. There's a reliability. Yeah? So whatever conjures up and appears to be the matrix of your time, day, ownership, priority, selfing, none of it can actually be so. It can only seem to be so. You don't even have to waste your time blowing it away because it's not there to be blown away. That's why the solution is prior to the problem. Yeah? From the solution's point of view, the problem actually does not exist. It only appears to exist to us. Yeah? The reality it seems to have has to be lent to it by us. Where else is it being lent to? Where? Is there a reality bank it's taking out a withdrawal? Obviously not. We are the giver of all meanings. When something seems so real that you could swear by it, where it's getting lent that reality by you? What would happen if the meaning, the possibility of mind stopped before it entered the distribution center? Yeah, maybe find, if you've ever had a pause in the program where that selfing stopped and you felt that internal moment and you felt that presence of that juice, maybe, just maybe, that's what we are. Yeah? Maybe, and that's always going to be, it seems like it happens after the you, but it's prior to the you. If you rested there, then all that possibility, which everything is just infinitely latent. It needs us to conjure it up. We need to beseech it. We need to allow it to come in. It's just latently possible. Any freaking thing can happen. Like that. But it has to happen through this. Something has to be its distribution point. Yeah? If your mind starts resting on the prior, yeah, and here's the distribution of meaning, then all this energy doesn't go into the distribution center. Then this starts petering out. It sends the trucks back, but there's no meaning there anymore. And now you start seeing the emptiness of the whole facade. You see the emptiness of your whole freaking story, which is incredibly nice. Yeah? And now a new meaning is being given. Then you get that Buddhist statement that everything is inherently empty. You see that to be the true meaning that's going on. And then you're resting in that pause, and that becomes the most meaningful thing. Because it is truly what we are. Yeah? Just like all the meaning we give into what we're not, when mind rests in what it is, that's the greatest meaning of all. Yeah? That's where it finds true rest. And then you have a freedom during your freaking day. You're at least on the game board on the right day at the right time. It's a nice place to start. You're actually present at whatever time it is now, and it's Saturday. You're actually here. Yeah? It's so difficult when you believe that you could be somewhere else. And now you're trying to get here, isn't it? You've read so many books, you practice all these things to get into the moment and really be present in your life. How much is it worth? Not much. Because it's built on an impossibility that you cannot be here. Why not see that? See that you cannot not be here, and maybe being here will become really easy, like riding a bike. It's just like it because you had the experiences when you were a kid. You'll just get back on that bike, and it doesn't matter if you haven't ridden it in 20 years, you know how to ride a bike. You don't lose it. It's the same thing. You go back to what it was like when you were a kid. You were playing on Saturday. You wouldn't be like this. Will I be playing next Wednesday? Should I be friends with this kid I'm playing with? No, I don't know. He has no back clothes on. My mother, she's big. I don't love her. She's ugly. My room's too small. None of that was going on because we weren't entertaining time yet. We were free from all that influence without any thought or effort on our part. It's when the thought and effort started to happen that all that stuff started to become dominant, seemingly. And that's all it is seemingly. Your total... If this was a hopeless state of mind and body, alcoholism, then it was logical, that logic of, I'm just going to get loaded. Who cares? Because it's hopeless state of mind, it makes sense. But it says in the book, it's a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Seemingly means it appears to be true or false to you. Yeah. True or false to you. Seemingly is the biggest word in this whole place. That's what this whole place is seemingly so. I'm totally screwed. Seemingly, at 10 in the morning, and by 11 I'm not screwed anymore. How did that happen? If I was totally screwed, I would imagine it would take more time than 35 minutes to get out of it, but it seems like it can be dropped in a second. Why? Because it isn't so. It's like one time I had this event in the hospital, and there was my life. I guess I must have been 30 years old then. So it was 30 years of chalkboards written on it. Paul's a loser, Paul did this, Paul did that, Paul prayed, Paul worried, Paul got loaded, got arrested, Paul suddenly the whole story stopped, and it was like a universal eraser erased so quickly. 30 years of chalkboard, and like that, as if it never happened, because it never happened. That was the exact appropriate take. It never happened. That's why it could be erased so quickly. It's all seemingly so. It's like smoke that gets formed into clouds and this and that, and we take it to be so. Yet, if you look back, it's all disappeared. It's all dissipated again. Nothing ever held any form as you've ever tried to put it in. This is the easiest off the way. You don't have to freaking...
Why did that stuff never happen?
Huh?
Why did that stuff never happen if it happened?
What? Because it happened, it seemed to happen because there was a you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be a different you now, but it still happened.
Because it has the you.
You attach the definition to it.
Yeah. It's the you, bro. The you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have any evidence it happened 5 years ago? Really? I have a story, but do I have any real evidence? Can I conjure it up? Can I bring 5 years ago here?
Well,
Oh, it has limitations. So it's not real. I can't bring it to this moment, can I? I can think about it, and I can produce an effect from it by thinking about it, but I cannot take 1998 and bring it here.
well, it's
Yeah.
not happening now. That's the point, right?
Well, therefore, it's not happening. Yeah.
I mean, he said it never happens.
Well, in this moment, it never happened.
Okay, that works.
Just to lose. These are little ways, tricks to try to lose some meaning, because all your energy has been distributed into imaginary places. You become a storage unit. Yeah. You have all these old ideas of what happened that are being projected into this big giant hallway I call it the hallway of shit and fans, which is your future. And you're concerned about what's going to happen to you there. And yet that energy has been auctioned off, and now the energy that's possibly here, your own interest and attention that could enrich this day, can't enrich it because it's enslaved to there and then. Just like when I did cocaine, the event. I remember I had a really bad time once. And I swore I'd never do coke again. Broke all my needles. I was driving back. Now I was confronted with I couldn't fall asleep for a few days. So I read Nicholas Nickleby, a 1,200-page book. Watched all these movies. And one of the experiences I had was I was totally bored. I had no ability to enjoy life unless I was on cocaine. It was mind-boggling how enslaved I was. I couldn't enjoy 3 days worth of time, books, movies, not girls, sex, nothing. I couldn't mind any enjoyment. My interest and attention was so enslaved to that, I had no interest and attention without it. So I reluctantly started doing it again because I couldn't fucking bear it. That to me is a form of enslavement. And I think there's a prior one that's much more powerful than the effects of cocaine, which is the mind's addiction to the idea of being a self.
Another way of illustrating your point.
Nice thing, shirt.
Isn't it? Yeah, good.
It was once mine.
Anyhow, the way it kind of helped me to understand that statement, it never happened, is sort of, it's so much past, it's so much like a dream. I mean, it has a substance of a dream. Whatever happened to me 5 years ago, yesterday, it's got the same substance as a dream that I had last night. It's just a bunch of fluff. If I think about it, if I focus on it, I give it temporary reality. But in sense, it really never happened. I mean, it's like a fluff. It's like a dream, you know. So I know that the ordinary kind of way of looking at it seems, well, you know, it did happen. But shoot, you know, if you're not there to remember it, did it happen? You know, I mean, so, yeah.
Well, the problem is its influence is happening now.
Well, yeah.
Your mind is in time, and it's this moment that we call here isn't a here, it's a mental here. And that mental here is just a highway of time going back and forth, past on the tarmac or on the road of the present moment. It's just this huge highway that the mind's traveling. It only has 2 gears, frontward and backward. It just goes from the back to the front to the back. And it's driving over our day right now. Yeah. It's logging tons of miles on this highway of Saturday. Tons of miles. Some people are traveling thousands of miles. They've gone through the speed of light back into a past, and they're projecting this terrible event may be going to happen a week from now. Yeah. There's no rest stop on that highway, none. Every one, you see the sign, it's closed. It's keep on going, keep on going. That's why we want to say it's not happening, so maybe you could have some immunity to what happened in the past, if you want to give it some credence, right? So that it won't be happening now. Yeah? It's because its biggest influence right now is what we believe happened. I would like to see us weaned off of that so that this becomes the biggest influence out in our day, because this is real where the true living commerce is occurring. We're having an experience, interchanges, this and that and this and that and that. Yeah? The cards are being dealt right now, but most people are playing past hands and are concerned about our future here. Yeah? It's an enslavement of mind. And that's one of the reasons why we want to get freaking relief. We're not looking for relief from Saturday. We're looking for relief from Friday and Wednesday. That's why people are getting loaded today. They want to get out of themselves. Yeah. And if self isn't the conveyor of time, I don't know what is. So to start having a diminishment of the influence in time, just like in recovery, they say, hey, one of the biggest concepts of recovery is a day at a time. And it works wonders on people. Because when you start entertaining a day at a time, what gets revealed? How preoccupied your mind is with yesterday and tomorrow. Then you go, Jesus Christ, I'm like here, like that. Yeah. And so, of course, this attention and interest, if it's like taken like Turkish taffy and pulled way this way and that way, there's not much here. Yeah. And then we have to think, I've got to try to pull it back from here and there, which is a form of slavery. What would happen if you could see that what's bothering me today isn't happening? Yeah. Then how does it have the ability to bother one today if it isn't happening? It must be thought about. Yeah. You tell me, how are you going to bring a crop here from a field of 3 years ago? Tell me how. How is it going to be produced? You can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it, but there can be thoughts about it. And then the thoughts produce an effect now. Who gives those thoughts that power to it's like a magic trick, to pull out a fucking bad day out of the hat. Yeah? Who gives it the power for that to occur? We do. The mind itself. What would happen if the mind actually truly got off? Take the day at a time, see how much relief it produced, just go farther. There'll be more and more relief, like geometrically progressing. The more and more you get weaned off of time, the more and more you'll be present in your own life, and maybe that presence will be satisfying. Your day today will be satisfying enough that you will have no inclination to drink or use or do anything fucking crazy, because you're content. Yeah. That's what happened with me for years now. I haven't had a thought about drinking or using because there's no interest in them. Because what they represented or symbolized was the authentic absence of what I would call contentment and satisfaction. That's not the case. So all the advertising of campaign of getting loaded has been totally dismissed. It's like someone trying to sell me a rug. I don't care how good they are. If I don't have a flaw, it doesn't matter. You know, when I was in Turkey, they're the best salesmen I ever ran into. 3 hours of Turkish coffees and cider, apple cider and Swiss, throwing rugs around with a different glint of the air, and then it's like a tag team. The cousins come in, they do it, they throw another one on the floor, and I had total immunity to it because I didn't have a house. I'm sitting there, why would I want to buy a rug? I have no home. I'm traveling around the world. Well, we could pack it up so you can give me a break. No, let's not get absurd. I'm going to pack a rug up and carry it while I'm traveling to Thailand and stuff. It's going to get moldy and everything. Oh yeah. I don't care how good they were. I had an immunity built in. I don't have a freaking flaw. This is what happens with this message. You get an immunity based from all those mental shenanigans, all those 3-ring circuses. You lose interest in them, and then you gain interest in what? Other people. Where are other people occurring? Here, now. You find out what you lose interest in taking from life, and now you want to contribute to life. Where can you contribute to life? In the past or the future? Now. Yeah. You get located on the square. Let's say not even talk about the whole rest of the game, but at least you're on the correct square. At least you realize you're the boot in Monopoly. You're not taking yourself to be the Eiffel Tower. It's a good starting point. And you may be fine just being the boot. And then maybe the game, instead of a pursuit of happiness, it'll be a leisurely walk. You'll be enjoying today because nothing else is happening. That's the same thing with surfing. Every time I go in the water, every other time I've been in the water is totally dismissed. The water is just as fresh as it always is right now. Everything's happening now. And there's no way you can write a story about it because as soon as you walk out of the water, it's seemingly over. Yeah? But what was there before I went in the water is the same thing there when I get out of the water. And that's the giver of the meaning. Not the water to me, but this to the water. Yeah? Why not expand on it? Why do I want to have just one thing that turns me on and makes me happy? Maybe expand the possibilities. I've walked the same trail behind Mill Valley Library at least 900 times. And every time it's a joy. Every time I see something different, it's a whole new experience. I don't have to drive 4 hours to convince myself I had a valuable day. I'll just go behind the library, 5 minutes from my house, take a hike. I went up into the Alps. And I hiked there. Oh, what a great story. Where did you? I just walked behind the library. Same thing. Yeah. I have 5 more hours. I didn't have to drive through traffic. Yeah. Do something else with. Yes, don't you get bored? No. I don't get bored. It's always changing every freaking time I go there. Why would I want to drive 4 hours to convince myself I had a valuable day? There's like this time I was at this place in Burma. I don't know, did I run this by you last time? No, Burma, there's this place called Bagan. It's like one of the wonders of the world. It's on this big arid plain next to the Irrawaddy River. And these crazy characters from the 9th to the 12th century, they built 5,000 Buddhist temples. That's all they did was build temples. The whole society just built temples all the time. So there's 300 years of temples, all different architectures, in real pretty good shape, a lot of murals inside of Buddha and everything like that. So you go there and you rent a bicycle because they're all dirt roads, and you just ride around all the time and look at different temples. And then at night you go sit on one of the pagodas and watch the sun go down, because you see the sun, you see all the spires and everything. It's pretty amazing. So one day we're sitting on the pagoda and waiting for the sun to go down, and you see this big cloud of dust, and there's something's coming, and this big bus comes, pulls up to the temple, yeah, and all these tourists get out. They get out, they walk right up to the temple, turn around. The guy who drove them takes a picture of them, they get back into the bus. Now they have a story that they were at that temple. Now from my view, they weren't really at the temple, yeah? But they have a picture to say, I was there, yeah? I was there, I bought this ticket, I took that tour, but in fact, they didn't even look at it for more than 5 seconds. They went, and they all got in, yeah? I don't see that as living. I don't care I don't know how much evidence you collected to convince yourself you were there. You weren't freaking there if you were up the ass yourself. You were in a mental here. You were in a mental here where all your interest and attention was stretched from this point, the only point there is, into these impossible points called there and then. Yeah? And then all the things about letting go, holding on, connected, disconnected, surrendering, taking it back. That's all relevant here. But in this point, none of it is. There's no one ever held on. There's no one ever going to let go. If you never picked up the rock, you do not have to put it down. If you're not, the best way to get out of something is to realize you were never in it. This is the best freaking way. The best way to get out of an imaginary problem is realize it's an imaginary problem. That's the best solution. Because there's no need even for a solution. Yeah? If you see that nothing ever really happened, then everything's happening. Yeah? Now you're on the pulse of living, and you will demonstrate it. Your own life will be the expression of it. Maybe you'll have contentment as your primary point. Yeah? You won't be spinning in agitation with everything that's representing peace being used to stir it up even more. Because you're not in peace, or you're not awakened, or you're not enlightened, or you're not, I should have gotten sober years ago. Well, some other baloney. Just stretching your interest and attention from here to, and you see it. People come to these talks, I really like what you had to say, but what's going to happen when I go Monday? Monday takes precedence over now. Yeah? The head always is pledging an allegiance to what's not happening and trying to override what's happening now because they say it won't be happening then. Yeah? I don't care if I'm happy now. I won't be happy Monday. You don't see that as slavery? That you can't even respond to what's going on now? You have to pledge allegiance to Monday? Oh, I can't be really happy today. Monday! Monday's coming! Monday is coming! So what? It's beautiful. It won't be Monday. I know it was really beautiful last week, but I missed that too. Because I used this Saturday I'm in now to invalidate last Saturday. I thought this was going to be better, but now I realize it isn't. Monday's coming. First, see if there's an enslavement of mind that's causing distress, ill ease, irritability, and restlessness. See it. Then, if you see it that way, you cannot use agitation to produce stillness. It will be agitated. Yeah? See, maybe you're not that. Yeah? Maybe you're not that, and therefore you won't be beholden to the meaning that thing is giving to letting go, and the meaning that it's giving to being holding on. The meaning it's giving to connected, and the meaning it's giving to unconnected. Maybe you'll be free of it all. Yeah? You won't have to have any freaking concrete meaning about what's happening. You'll be able to let in the I don't know and find out. Yeah? And you'll probably find out that today is way more than enough. Yeah? And the next day will be way more than enough. Yeah? Wow, great sound.
You become more easily entertained.
Yeah. Because your audience is in the theater. You're here. You see so much unbelievable stuff when you're here. When you're preoccupied waiting for the next show, you miss the show that's going on now. And I think it's the only show in town. Yeah. It's like seeing the coming attractions and then walking out of the movie. Yeah? Oh, dang, I got enough. I'm looking forward to seeing that, but are you going to see it? No, but I'm going to look forward to seeing it. It's all right, leave the theater. That's all I need is coming attractions. I'll do the rest. That's what the head does. It says, oh, I'm going to be fucked. And then the movie starts. Now you're sitting in the audience, in your little porno theater, and you're getting screwed. Inevitably. Oh, I just like to get high. No one likes to get high if those are the consequences to suffer from. It's a need. It's an occupation. There's no getting high anymore. Once you start getting loaded and you have that inclination, it's a job. You've got to try to get out of self as much as possible because you know what's waiting for you when you land back in self. And you don't want to be conscious when that occurs. All the guilt and shame for all the stuff you've been doing, all the times you had love and withheld yourself. Oh, there's a big case waiting for you on that court date. That's the last place you want to be is in the mental here. You'll do anything to get out of it. The unbelievable news is right underneath the mental here is the here, and that's the solution. Yeah? And that's the last place the head wants to take you. It wants to take you to there and then all day. There is a solution, man. And you it, in a sense. You don't have it, you are the solution. And the only thing is, you can seemingly be the problem, and that's part of the solution. If you were the problem, we might as well just get loaded today. Really. If it's a hopeless state of mind and body, then we're fooling ourselves to think anything could get better. But it's a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And that seemingly isn't based on it, but is based on you. It's appearing to be true or false to you. It's not appearing to be true or false to anything else. So yeah, I love the news, man, because I've entertained it now for years, and the goods have stabilized, and I have a freedom from the bondage of self. I'm like a free-range alcoholic. I can run around life and truly enjoy what's on offer. I mean, I was in New England this last week, Cape Cod, on Buzzard Bay, and there was one of those impeccable days. I could not. It was so calm there and so pristine, and every 30 yards was another cove or another little fishing thing or something going on. And it was just, I felt like I soaked up all that could possibly soaked up, and then I could just come home and then wring the towel out and drench Deb, who's from there, with it and everything else. But I could not, it's just one of those impeccable days that comes around, you know? And it's so nice when you're available to entertain it, because it's not an impeccable day without you. Yeah. It was just lovely. I had such a joy time this time. The talks went really well, and then a lot of camaraderie. I had a blast, and man, it made such an imprint how beautiful. And then it just produces how beautiful this place is. You get home and look at this. Got to go surfing this morning. Beautiful offshore. Just great. Temperature was fine. I mean, what a joy. Yeah, now it's like all downhill from here. Chill out for the rest of the day. I mean, before, you can never rest. You were like you were like a working mule, you know? Constantly getting whipped. Come on. Accrue more value. Accrue more memories. Get more experiences. Validate your own premise. Convince others to validate your premise. It's so nice not to be whipped in the ass. It's much more comfortable when you sit down. You may stay a while. So if you're suffering from whatever you may think you're suffering from, there is a solution. There is a power greater than self. Yeah. You may want to put it off of you because it's too scary to think it could possibly be where you're sitting. That's fine. It doesn't care what you need to do. It's all sudden. It's just time delays. But in fact, sooner or later, you're going to realize you've turned your willing life over to the care of to a higher power of its own understanding. And then it's going to be quite revelatory. And instead of getting parking, which you may get parking spaces at the meeting, and you may get a 6-month-long relationship, but there'll be so much more that's on offer than that. Yeah? You may finally become, for all intents and purposes, the thing you've been looking for. Yeah? You guys know. You'll finally become the thing, all those things you've been looking for all these years, you'll finally become the quintessential thing as a no thing. Yeah? That you've been looking for.
But weren't we always the thing, we just didn't see it?
Exactly. Well, we did see it, but we were seemingly involved in something else.
No, I appreciate it.
We cannot not see it. We are it. Yeah, it's happening. We're seeing from it now. That's what we are. Well, it can only do it in time. It can only seemingly be not so in time. It could not seemingly be so in infinity. No way. It would be dismissed like that, like it never happened. Because why? It never did happen. Yes. So there you go. Hallelujah. Good news.
Are we going to Chibo's?
Yeah, sure. I got the rest of the day. Chibo's. We'll go to a coffee shop if you like.
Is that the basket?
Oh yeah, we're going to pass the basket so I can go to Chibo's. Need some money. Andrew, I'm happy to see you, bro. Yeah. I got your call, but I was in New England, so.
Okay.
And I left my phone for a couple of days in Deb's car. You want to speak tonight with me at a meeting in the city?